There you go.
Yes, I can see it. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back, I should say. Summer has started. I hope you're all having a great summer. And this is our Q2 update for 2022. I'm Bernadette Smith. I'm Director of Community and Corporate Outreach, and I am a mom of autism. My role as Community and Corporate Outreach Director is to really get to know everybody in the different communities, build relationships, and help bridge those gaps for families that are at risk, not just autism. Next slide, please. Our mission is to integrate families and children of autism back into society through love and support. And as many of you on here already know, the love of our mission is our families, and the support is everybody else. That means service providers, resource centers, city officials, first responders, educators, and anybody else that has the heart to serve the at-risk population. Next slide, please. We were established in 2011. And we now have 16 programs. We thought that we were done with seven programs, but we ended up developing 16 programs, and it's in 4 phases, and each phase has a purpose. In 2022, we began our first phase, and we launched it in the North Valley. Oh, give me 1 second here. Something is covering up my screen. But we launched it, our first phase was launched, and now we're going into the North Valley region of Arizona. But the first phase was done in the West Valley. And as many of you know, we canvassed the whole West Valley. We reached out to the resource centers, service providers, city officials, and first responders, and even educators. And now we're moving into the North region. I was actually just on a call this morning, and we're very lucky. Let me just put it that way. We're very lucky here in the West Valley to have the resources that we do have, because the North region does not have as many at their access. They have to travel very far in some areas to get the support and the services that they need. We have 4 core survival skill programs. The first one is our Families of the Spectrum Unite. And that one is really where we help families to get the resources that they need, especially early intervention and mental and behavioral health. Then we have our Life on a Spectrum program, where we connect those families with our resources to bridge those gaps. And we actually bring them those early intervention service providers and mental and behavioral health resources that they need. We also have our Responders Unite program. Our Responders Unite isn't just for responders, it's also for families, because we really need to make sure that everybody's on the same page, especially during a crisis situation. So we not only educate first responders, but we also educate the whole community as well. And that includes educators and everybody else that supports the at-risk population. And then we have our life skills, our phase 4, which is really taking everything that our families have learned, individuals on the spectrum have learned, whether it's life skills, job skills, and helping them take those and put them into practice so that they can eventually live independently, and empowering them with these skills so that when mom and dad pass away, they can pass away in peace. Next slide, please. So these 11 cities are the Northern Valley region that we launched in 2022, and we're going to start back up in August. You can see here that there's a number of them, and some of these aren't even cities. Some of these are small towns. I know that at least one of them is a community, and being able to bring resources to these areas, like I said, is really important. This morning on the call, it was about a 2-hour drive for some families just to get a simple service that they need, but that's the reality of it. So they're trying to see how they can provide these resources a better way, even if that means bringing them, transporting them, helping them find the transportation that they need if they don't have that transportation. And that's really important. So we really want to, by the end of the year, be able to bridge those gaps in the northern region and provide unity for all of these cities, communities, and towns. Next slide, please. Our phase 1, tier 1, Families of the Spectrum Unite is our boots on the ground program, and it's 10 steps to seeking out families. And I actually mentor university and college students with this program. And this program is really important because it not only helps to bridge the gaps for families with resources and the supports and the services that they need, but it's also educating our future generation, our next generation of social workers, educators, first responders, nursing students. We have so many different types of the students that are volunteering for this have so many different types of degrees that they're going into. And at some point, everybody touches somebody with autism, whether it's a loved one or whether it's somebody that they're serving. So to be able to educate our future generation, we feel is really critical because they can also help us to seek out those families in their future careers, in their future chosen careers. Next step, please, or next slide. Phase 1, Tier 2, Life on a Spectrum, College Boots on the Ground. This is where we seek out safe and vetted resources for crisis intervention, because a lot of the resources that are provided are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. But we know that when a crisis happens, a lot of times it's outside of those hours. So we really need to be able to provide resources during those times as well. So seeking mental and behavioral health solutions, as well as early intervention, and just those types of resources that families need when they're in the middle of a crisis is really critical. And Miss Brenda Nelson is helping us with that. I don't know if she's on here with us. Cricket, do you see if Brenda has joined us, if she had an opportunity to join us just yet? I'd love to introduce her to those who don't know her.
Maybe I have James monitoring who's here. So James, do you know if we have Miss Brenda Nelson? Or Brenda, if you're on, just jump in really quick. I know that she had a lot going on today, so it may be difficult for her.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I don't see her, but Brenda Nelson is a student services analyst for the Workforce Center at Estrella Mountain Community College. And she is one of our college program directors. And she actually heads this tier 2 of our program, Boots on the Ground, to try and find those crisis agencies rather that serve during a crisis situation. Next slide, please. And Miss Brenda is not here, so I just shared a little bit about her, but maybe she'll jump on a little later and then we can have her introduce herself as well and she can say hello. Next slide, please. You know, before I do continue, one thing I do want to say is one of the things that I love about Brenda is her heart is really there to serve our next generation. She not only is our college program director, but in her role as a student service analyst and working for the workforce, she actually helps these students to write resumes, to do career interviews, and to find a position at many times, and even do volunteer work. So she helps them while they're preparing to go into their career. So I just want to say thank you to Ms. Brenda Nelson for what she does. Now, this is phase 1, tier 3. This is our unified responder community, phase 1, tier 3, where we have ambassadors going out there with boots on the ground, seeking out crisis throughout society. And Jacqueline, sometimes called Jacqueline Torres is leading that. And she is actually going out and looking for moms, finding moms that really want to serve their community, finding mom is in each of the cities here in the West Valley right now that can help advocate for other families. And we know that that's really critical because we never want families to feel alone. I know that when I first started out with my daughter, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to turn. And there's nothing better than having somebody that's already been walking in those shoes help you to get through those challenging times, talk you through those challenging times, and help to guide you. So if we can find moms, and we do have a number of moms already that have joined us. And do we have Jacqueline here with us on the line right now? Jacqueline, are you here? Because I can't see our roll call just yet.
Yeah, I'm here.
Jacqueline. Hi, Jacqueline. I don't know if you have video, but do you want to share a little bit about what you do as you lead this part of our program, Tier 3?
Oh my God. Well, so hi everyone. Sorry, I just got out of work. So, how's everyone doing? Happy Monday.
Thank you, Jacqueline, for getting on tonight. Thank you.
Of course. So what I've been doing technically is reaching out to other moms, like through social media, like Nextdoor app, through Facebook, Instagram and things like that. So I posted on my own page. I think I have 2 moms who are interested. They supposed to send me an email so I can reach out to them. They haven't sent me an email, so I will give it a couple days. But technically, right now, I'm just trying to get some moms and get some help, so that way we can come together and come with a plan. Because I want to reach more people and get more moms involved, and parents, grandparents, even siblings. Like my daughter, she's gonna start working. She's paraprofessional for a charter school, and it's for kids with disabilities actually. So she wants to be part of it. She couldn't come in because she's going with her husband. They're going to Kansas, see the family. But she's interested on that too. So we just need more people. If you guys have anybody, please send them our way. But technically, once we have our people and we have a couple of them, we can start sharing, what we do. And when they need help, we can be there and give them the support that they need.
Jacqueline, can you share with everybody, and I spelled your name wrong, I just realized it, I apologize. I just saw it, I'm like, oh no. Can you share with everybody, how long have you been following Sounds of Autism? And right now, your daughter is not diagnosed with autism. She has a disability. You think she might have autism, right? But you've been following us a long time.
Yes. Oh gosh. Yes. I've been following you guys, I will say, for 5 years now, or probably more. Kind of like when you guys started, when Cricket started everything. So it was just kind of at the beginning. So yes, I've been following you guys for a long time. And I always stay up to date with everything, with the lawsuits, what is happening. Because I'm following you guys and I'm reading everything that is posted. So that's how I've been keeping up with you guys. And yes, and I do need help too, because I need to get Stephanie tested again to see if we can get her already diagnosed with autism, because she has more symptoms now and I'm seeing them more now than before. She don't like hugs at all. She don't like to be touched. So it's a lot of things. So yeah, and I'm seeing them more now than before.
And girls are harder to diagnose, they say. So yeah. I know Bernadette and Jacqueline have a lot of common things that they deal with, but Jacqueline reached out. I want to help. I want to be a part of this. She got excited about it. Her job is very hard at work, and she still is doing this, so she makes her time because she knows how important it is. But the role that Jacqueline will be playing will be building our pipeline in each individual city in the West Valley. And then once we do that, her team will help us build the same thing in the North, the South, and the East, because we know if we have that one or more advocate parents or grandparents, and I don't want to exclude dads. I know James is on here going, well, what about the dads? Dads, you are right. It's dads or moms. We don't care. We don't discriminate, right? We'll let anybody in. But we just need those people out there that are willing to help support their community, because the city of Surprise has different things in the city of Peoria. And so if everybody works together, we have this team, everybody's voice comes together. So she has a very important role. And this role, we are now ready for it because of the work that we've done in the West Valley. So eventually this will be statewide, and she'll have a very big team. And then I'm going to go, okay, you did such a great job. I want to bring you into Canada and California, and eventually Pakistan and Africa. She'll be all over the world. So get to know Jacqueline, because she's going to be around a long time doing a lot for Sounds of Autism. So thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you, guys. Nice to meeting everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to say something real quick. If you have not joined our, if you don't follow our Facebook page, and also join our private group. It's Autism Families Unite. Cricket, is this my slide or your slide? And you're up.
Yeah, it's join your team, guys, was really, and I apologize, my dog is going to be crazy just because I'm on here. The team, joining the team, it could be Jacqueline's team, it could be Bernadette's team, it could be Brenda's team, it could be my team, James's team in Canada, California's Chad, I mean, Pakistan, anywhere that you would like and have interest in joining. Guys, we have a lot of things that we can do, and if not, we create them because we want the involvement. The more people that rally around the cultural movement that we have going on right now, the better off we are long term. There's a lot of positives I'm going to share with you now of things that we've accomplished. But before I go into that, I would just like to ask, is there anybody on here that has any questions about anything Bernadette spoke about before we move forward? Because once we're done, I just want to go around and do a round robin real quick so we can just introduce really quickly everybody so we all know who each other is, because we're going to see each other a lot more as we move forward with Sounds of Autism. So any questions? Going once, going twice. Okay. So I'm Cricket Barrientos, founder, Sounds of Autism. Nice to meet all of you. We have accomplished the following things over the last quarter for 3 months. These are things that we have worked on and accomplished, or that we're still in the works with. A CFT is a mediation. So CFT is conducted by the State of Arizona Department of Economic Security team, along with many psychologists, psychiatrists, doctors, group home providers. All these people come together to game plan for a child or an adult that has severe issues with autism or other at-risk issues. And this particular child is 14 years old. So we've been sitting in on the meetings with the parents, the grandparents, and just listening, and then giving guidance to everyone of what we are hearing and seeing, because we don't have an emotional connection with this person. It really makes it easy for us because we're just being very matter of fact. This is what we're hearing, and these are the things that we would suggest based on the experiences that we have as a parent or an organization. And so that's one of the biggest ones that we worked on. But we also have grandparents that are taking responsibility of these kids. I had one grandparent, he actually has a grandchild, and because of that has to move out of his 55 and over community, and he has to move into a home outside of that because they won't allow the grandchild to be there in that community. So people are like literally packing up and changing their lives because of these types of things. So this is very common, and we're seeing a lot more of this as we grow. Domestic violence situations, we have victims of domestic violence, of trafficking, homeless, jobless, runaways, suicide. Recently, just tonight, we had somebody attempt suicide in the autism community. Elopement, diagnosis. Elopement is escaping from their home. We have an attorney whose child is trying to escape their home. They have locks 6 feet tall in their homes, and this 4 or 5 year old can just get up there and open the door and run out. I had the same thing happen to me when Landon was 2. Elopement is also, them leaving and running to a canal. So there's a lot of issues there. So we're training officers, watch for water. If you see water, go right there. That's the first place you should be looking. If there's a pool, go there, because these kids, for whatever reason, run towards water. The diagnosis, once they get the diagnosis, or they don't have a diagnosis, but they know that they see signs. Where do I go? How do I do this? What is it going to cost me? Bullying. We had incarcerated people, lots of incarcerated people that have autism. Long-term care denial, like they're just denied because they applied and because they said whatever they said, they did not get their child, qualified for this. And these kids are now 20, 21 years old, and they're being denied, and they don't have a solution. They can't get a job. They don't have transportation. Just nothing. They're sitting at home, and some of them, they're sitting at home playing video games, which is where the online gaming luring goes for grooming, for trafficking. And we have kids that are sitting at home, adults that are sitting at home, and sometimes they're doing inappropriate things and they're getting in trouble for it. Generational intake. So it's not just grandparents, but we have all kinds of people bringing these kids in, nieces, nephews, sisters, siblings, you name it. relationships. A lot of them are getting into relationships, but they're making inappropriate decisions, and then they get in trouble for that. We have one kid that was fighting for his rights. A parent that's, you know, struggling to get her son out of a mental health institution because of inappropriate things he's doing. And with those things come costs, and those costs are like $7,000. Who has $7,000 that they can just give away? And that's for the first trial, like the first portion of their trial. They're not even talking about if there's a continuance or they have to go back and forth multiple times. $7,000 for one time of representation because of the issues that these people are dealing with. Community support. People are asking all the time, how do I learn how to act if there's an encounter? We just met with Target Distribution. They're looking at bringing us in to train all of their security teams, all of them. That's huge. And the officers are like, well, we'll help you, because when they're detaining people wrong, incorrectly, we have to go in and not only de-escalate that, but we also have to de-escalate the issue. So we would love to work with these security guys to let them know this is what you should do until police arrive. And so, you know, people are volunteering because they see the importance of what it is. But I just want to share with you, because my husband and I had a conversation tonight, and he said, you know, why do you have quarterly meetings? Like, I just want to understand what this is about. And I said, we do quarterly meetings because I want to be the nonprofit that reports back to the people that are investing their time or their money with us, so that they always know how much we're doing behind the scenes. Because there's a lot of times, if you're not following Facebook and we're not putting all this on there, people have no idea what we're accomplishing. This is in a quarter, you guys. You want to put 11 years together? I don't have enough pieces of paper to do that. It's a lot of work and a lot of need. So we are piloting our 2022 pilot program, which is responders and educational leaders working together on crisis intervention solutions. Goodyear Police Department, SRO teams, school resource officers are going into the classrooms at Litchfield and Mabel Paget schools specifically, but Litchfield School at and now we're working right now with Agua Fria to work out a program with them. So we'll go K through 12th grade. We will be working in Goodyear, Arizona with all of the educational leaders to come up with solutions from prenatal till the end of life. And these educators are getting behind us. They're allowing the officers to go in and start teaching crisis intervention, safety, and it's simple processes. But today I got to meet with Victory Academy, Autism Academy in Goodyear. They had 150 students last year, K through 12, and next year their enrollment is 250. 250 autistic kids going there. They teach everything from life skills, everything we're trying to accomplish. They've already incorporated that, but the teachers that I spoke with, the administrators today, said, Cricket, what you're doing just endorses what we're doing and gets behind us. You're embracing what we know the needs are. And all of us come from public education, and we know that there's things that we need to do, whether it's public education or private. There's things we need to do, and it's not happening. And the parents sometimes don't understand. So having a voice that can come up behind us and share with the families, this is why this is important. My son is 20, and these are the things I would do over if I had the opportunity. And we want these parents to do it now. So by the time their kids get to 20, they're not redoing it. Like I get a redo. and my son's best friend, we're redoing a lot of stuff that wasn't done because we didn't know. So now we can help others. It is directed by and led by Sergeant Sean Tyler, and I've known Sean for over 16 years. He used to work for me in the restaurant industry. Now he's an officer. And as soon as he found out that we were doing this, he asked to be a part of it and wanted to help us launch this. And Gina DeCoste, she's the director of educational curriculum. She also sits on the board of Agua Fria School District, and she was the principal at Landon School. So she's been watching us since 2011 grow. She is 100% behind us, and she and the superintendent of Agua Fria High School both sit on the board, and they both are endorsing us to take this all the way to the high school level. We're also piloting this with, like I said, Victory Academy, and we'll start the exact same program And a lot of our stuff is peer-to-peer. So not only are the officers going in and teaching safety, but we also have a plan for them to ingrain this in the muscle memory throughout the school year with a bunch of different students. Everything is going to be peer-to-peer education, and we're really changing the culture all over the community. So everywhere in the West Valley, we're working towards cultural change. And this is the movement that we'll be working on, you know, for the lifetime of Sounds of Autism. Again, ran by Sergeant Tyler and his team and Victory Autism Academy. And then we also have, you know, Bridging the Gaps K through 12 grade with workforce development. So we're working on K through 12 so that by the time they get to, you know, graduation level, we can start introducing them to what we call the STOP project. And we've already done things leading up to the STOP project. So by the time they get to the simple task operations project team, they've already learned crisis intervention and, you know, all the different things that are going to keep them safe in the community, and they're exhibiting their own coping skills. So when they're getting stressed out, they can already put that coping skill to work because we taught them these skills before they get out into the workforce, and they fail because nobody understands that. My husband was just telling me there's a front desk person at his department who is undiagnosed autistic for sure. He stims in the bathroom. Everybody thinks the guy's weird. Nobody understands him. And my husband's in the briefing teaching these guys. And I'm like, these are the officers that are supposed to know these things, or at least know the basics of autism. They don't know anything. And he's still teaching them today. And he's teaching them why it's important that they embrace this guy instead of pushing him down the hill. And again, ran by Sergeant Tyler, and this particular one, Mark, and I'm going to say this wrong, I think it's Yelis or Yesla. He's the board of director, but he's a superintendent. He came to us. He shared that he's very interested in what we're doing. He knows that we have some things that we're working on, and he said, if you'll have us, we would like you to join what we're doing as a project from K all the way through 12th grade. And then I would like to employ these people within my school district or my community, and I will help you bridge those gaps. And I will also come up with living solutions for this community. And he goes, if we can do all of this in the West Valley, this would be a blessing. Mark received a bond this year, and this will be a bond that will continuously grow over the next 10 years. And with that money, he wants to invest in Sounds of Autism, bringing the West Valley to a whole different level when it comes to supporting the at-risk population, including autism. We have James Townend. He is the Director of International Development with Canada. We have Dr. Khan, who recently joined us. She is the Director of International Development, Pakistan. And we have Abdul Rahim. He is in Africa, and he is just at the beginning stages of becoming a Director of Africa. And what does that mean? All of these individuals will be eventually doing the exact same thing that we do with boots on the ground and the college students and the life skills and the safety skills and all of those things. But right now, we're just building relationships and bringing awareness to Sounds of Autism and these individuals so that when we do go to execute this, they also have a very positive response because of the time and effort that we put into building those relationships in their communities and provinces throughout their villages or their community. And then we have Chad and Melinda, and I don't know if Chad made it on, but Melinda is his choice for Director of Community and Corporate Outreach. And Chad is a dad of autism who is homeless. His wife left him with no money and took everything. And he was homeless with 5 kids, 2 on the autism spectrum. He recently got into a great relationship. That person and him balance each other very well. And he has a podcast that he does, a very professionally done podcast with people in California. And he lives in Santa Barbara. And they are going to start shadowing Bernadette and myself for the next 6 months to learn how to introduce our program into California market. And then he will find regional partners to help him do this. And as soon as he can get 20 or more people as an audience, I will fly out to California and I will do the paperwork to make California the second nonprofit that we are supporting. And now we are at phase 1, working ourselves to death and doing our West Valley and our North initiative. And why we're doing that, we're introducing the West Valley to phase 2 as we continue maintaining phase 1. And with phase 2, we introduced our country music artist, Bobby Joe Bell, and his new song. It's called Line Dancing, and it is a song that he wrote when he was on his journey. He didn't know if he was going to make it through a surgery, and he wrote this song to give back to his community, but he also did it and he became a foundation. And we realized that his mission to bring awareness to autism through his music and, you know, just all the things that he does in the community and his 30 years of experience as a country music artist, that he would really seal the deal with our music portion of it, because I am not a singer and it's going to take me a long time to get there. And Bobby Joe Bell has everything that I wish I did as far as music goes. So he is going to take this on, and his vice president of Raise Your Hands Inc. Foundation, which is Lisa Wood, she is here tonight. And I'd just love you to take a minute, Lisa, and introduce yourself and just share why you took this mission on with Bobby Joe Bell and Sounds of Autism.
Hi, I'm Lisa Wood. As Cricket shared, I partnered with Robert in September. He came to me by a friend, had a vision, told me a story, and I said, I think we can do this. Well, within a month of setting up a charity, which I accidentally set up as the foundation, we were introduced to Sounds of Autism. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at the foundation that has been built in these last 7 years, or actually 11 years, and not want to partner with what Sounds of Autism is doing. We had the means to support the compassion and empathy portions of Sounds of Autism, and Sounds of Autism had the means to bring the platform to life a lot quicker. So we really, really work well together. I see you back there, Marcus. How are you? So, yeah. So it's just, as I shared earlier, my daughter has supported the community of autism since she was in high school. She is a respite provider, and she gets the pleasure of working with this community every single day. So I have learned a lot by her. I swear to goodness, I learned so much every single day. I talk to one of you at some point in time. I'm still learning every single day. My strengths come as operations. I'm very strong in the business aspects to make sure that we are transparent and that risk is minimized all the way around. So that's really what my strengths are, is to make sure that nobody takes advantage of the situation that we, with our heart, are putting out there. So that's what I do. So.
Thank you, Lisa. And Bobby Joe Bell, Robert, is performing tonight, so he is not able to be here. But phase 2 to me was, once we introduce our program to these cities step by step by step, we say one step, one city, 1 acre at a time for phase 1, and phase 2 is 1 step, 1 city, 1 song at a time. And with that song, the idea is to build compassion and empathy through our music and the words and the message. And you know, we're going to be line dancing, we're going to be raising our hands, we're going to be trying to perform eventually a state and world record with all of the things that Bobby Joe Bell's doing. And because we have the Super Bowl, we're going to ride the coattails of the Super Bowl, and we're going to do a lot of things, from introducing our program to networking events throughout, you know, the rest of the year. We're going to have our walk in November. When that walk happens, that will be our introduction to us and the videos that we're producing right now with Channel 7. We're putting all that out there. We'll have a lot of news and magazine articles, just a lot of things that will be bringing the message. And then our hope is through that people will read the stories and become more compassionate and empathetic for what we're doing and join us and help the, you know, the Jacquelines of the world and the Bernadettes and the Lisas of the world, you know, continue this, because there's a lot of work to be done. And right now it's discouraging to me that, you know, I showed you some of the things that we're dealing with. We don't need to see people taking their lives. We don't need to see people, you know, doing something in the homeless population and ending up with fentanyl in their system. Those things don't need to happen if we do this right. And so that's our hope, is that we lead them in a positive journey instead of a, you know, just not so great journey. These are the cities that we have already done, and now we're moving to the north, and we have everything from Cave Creek to you know, you name it, Prescott and Flagstaff, and you know, some tribal lands and things like that, and they're just as needing of the things that we're doing. So Bobby Joe Bell will really come behind us and seal the deal. We've set the tone and the energy. We've gotten the people to get behind it. We're starting to change the culture, and he's coming in and entertaining people, but getting them to join us in this movement to bring awareness. And it's kind of like putting the icing on the cake. At phase 3 and 4, if we do everything right with phase 1 and 2, 3 and 4 will just happen. We don't have to do much work. So I say that introducing the Raise Your Hands Foundation, starring country music artist Bobby Joe Bell to share the vision and the plan, and our organizations becoming a hybrid partnership. So the foundation will fall under the Sounds of Autism umbrella, and the foundation is really the money source of Bobby Joe Bell's music that will be given, you know, to keep Sounds of Autism going. And that's really our intention. So you'll see that as we move forward. Thank you, Lisa. And then, you know, we have these videos. So we just did all of the filming for the B-roll for our videos. And then Channel 7 News is currently putting all that together for us. It's not truly Channel 7, but he works for Channel 7, Wally Cahill, and they have a streaming business that they do. And so they'll be working with us to help bring awareness through different marketing and media components, and, you know, help get the name out there. Because once you start this, you can't stop. You got to keep going so people know who you are and they see your name everywhere, right? And then we have Alex and Landon. So Alex and Landon have been doing the Stop Project pilot program with me for 1.5 years. And this year, my sister asked them to come and work for her over the summer to do custodial assistant work with her. And it's through the Dysart Elementary School. So she's having them do all kinds of things every day. And then she reports back the different things that they do well and the different things that we need to work on, so that we can work on, you know, sense of urgency, anticipating the needs of others, you know, saying please or thank you, and, you know, whatever it may be that they're struggling with. They've been doing a lot of little simple projects, and they've been very successful at it. So we're excited because she's reporting back they're doing a really good job. We also had Target reach out. They would like to be our corporate sponsor, Target Distribution Center, and they're talking about having us work with police departments to train all of their security force people, that their security team that are with them. And this could just be in a couple of locations in the West Valley, or it might even become something that's more all over the world. And that would be really awesome if we could do that and be a part of that. We also have the Kiwanis Club that reached out to us, Harry Shapiro specifically, in the Westgate portion of Kiwanis, and he asked if he could be our next new corporate sponsor to help us with our life skills program and all the programs that we're doing with the educators. We will be using our student councils, our key clubs, and our National Honor Society students, the leaders in those schools, to be the peer-to-peer trainers for these kids on the special needs. And they can also be that person, that kind of that big brother, big sister, where they're walking them to their class so they feel included and they feel integrated. And we're doing that because we're hearing a lot about bullying, and there's no reason for that. We can de-escalate that just by doing these types of things. So we're going to introduce these programs. Kiwanis would like to get behind that and be a part of that. We have 3 new directors of sponsorship, Amanda Hart, Rebecca Wood, and Diette Milhone, and all 3 of those people are learning about sponsorship. They're calling, and we also have James, we have, I'm going to forget all these people, Steve, and a couple other people that are working alongside these guys to learn about sponsorship and grant writing and things like that. And then anybody on our team that wants to do those types of things is allowed to do that as well. But all of these people are helping us find these sponsors like the Target. I know that Bobby Joe Bell talked to somebody recently that was on the Super Bowl committee, and we're going to be attending an event tomorrow with Kurt Warner, or not tomorrow, Wednesday with Kurt Warner, and they're doing a big country music fundraiser for his treasure house in Glendale. And, you know, we're going to be able to have the Super Bowl committee with us. And that's a big deal because we can ask for things. And a lot of times we don't even have to ask. We just tell them what we're doing. They're like, how do we get involved? So hopefully they'll be able to help us with the Super Bowl portion of this. So when we want to do the state record, those things can happen. The next thing is we have our new director of media, AJ Clark. AJ and I worked together for a couple of weeks now, and he's helping us do interviews with the magazines. He's helping us get into magazines and different, newspapers or on certain channels. He's working with us to create those things. It's a beginning stage for him. He's just learning this, but I think he is absolutely amazing when it comes to social media. He has thousands of followers on his social media pages. And I'm like, whatever you did to make that happen, you need to help us do that too. So he's very involved and he's helping and willing to work with us on these types of things. You'll get to meet him soon. These are all ways that people can help us. And a lot of our sponsors and grant writers, they don't just go for grants. They're going for tax credits. They're going for sponsorships. They're going for events and fundraising, donations, whatever it may be. And there's a lot of people out there that are looking for opportunities. How do we donate money in our paychecks? How do we do different things? How can we do a small fundraiser within our corporation to support this? A lot of organizations, they give donations and they also pay their employees to volunteer. So if that's something that your employer is willing to do, please reach out to us. We will help with that and we can get you those volunteer hours. We always have something to do. And we were talking a little bit about the line or the dancing and the line dancing. We're going to have a walk this year, and our walk is going to be rallied around this walk and line dance so that Bobby Joe Bell can come out and perform. His team can be there. They can be a part of this. And then we're also working on bringing open mic options for people so that they can do a little karaoke and we can see the next best artist that's out there. We have, we might have a guest that shows up. We're not sure if he can make it because he's traveling all over the world, but Marcus Boyd, he's I think it's 14 nominations for Grammys for his beats. He has a clothing line. He's doing a documentary. If Marcus is on here, I would love for you to say hello because you are just doing amazing things. You were the one that introduced us to all these international people.
How you doing?
Hi, Marcus.
Listen, I had to stop up in here, Cricket is family. So as soon as you send the back call out, I'm coming.
Well, Marcus, I see all the stuff that you're doing. And if you guys are not following him, please follow.
I'm wearing my shirt.
Yes, I love it. I see you're wearing it. I get excited when I see you're out there and you're sporting all the Sounds of Autism stuff. Where you're definitely part of the fam. We know that you're doing great work, and a lot of people just speak highly of you, especially in other countries. So you must be touring or doing something like that. Is that correct?
Doing a lot.
It's awesome though. You're showing everybody that if you believe, you can do it. And I think it's really been a great journey for you, and it's just the beginning of it. So I can't wait to see how far you go with this. And we're right here to support you and cheer you on. So good job on that. Thank you. So hopefully Marcus will be out there. Go ahead, Marcus.
I will.
Awesome.
I'll be out there at the walk. I'm coming to the walk, and whatever Sounds of Autism needs from me. And we definitely going to get it more in Little Rock, Arkansas and stuff of that nature. I'm definitely putting Sounds of Autism in my documentary and stuff of that nature because I want the world to continue to know about this amazing organization, foundation, and stuff of that nature. Plus, I'm trying to do the line dance. Trying to do line.
That's awesome. That's good. Well, I can't wait for people to come out and meet you. And like I said, and they'll get to meet Bobby Joe Bell and Lisa and just all of our team, guys. Everybody's going to be out there that day. I think we're trying to have at least 250 to 300 vendors. We have sponsors that are getting involved, food trucks. It's going to be a fun day. I think we even have a small petting zoo. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think our security team will probably be, the explorers or the cadets. So they'll be representing, and our honor societies, all those people will be out there. It's going to be a really fun event. Last year we had 500 people and we didn't really even advertise. This year we're way ahead of the game. So I think a lot of positive things will happen. So that said, there's a lot that you can get involved with if you're interested in participating, especially with our walk. We need people that will do everything from, invite people out, get teams out there, sponsorships, vendor tables, nonprofit tables, marketing opportunities. I know there's State 48. They have a great reputation in our community to do t-shirts. If there's somebody out there that wants to sponsor us doing a t-shirt to lead up to the Super Bowl, open mic, food, drink, dessert trucks, anybody you might know. We need volunteers to help us out throughout the day. Raffle tickets, 50-50 raffle. We got a lot going on that day. It's going to be a big venue. So it's Peoria Sports Complex. It's where the baseball teams play. And we have the big Jumbotron as well. So please, if you can get involved, that would be so helpful. And if not, and somebody that might be interested, let us know. We would love to have them. Even from Arkansas, Marcus, if you want to send them from Arkansas to help us out, send them. And then we also have audience participation with any feedback that you might have, but these are the sponsorship levels that we have. We actually cut those down. So this is what we were asking. We do have something going up until the end of August. So I will send those out to everybody so you can see what that looks like. But we have, we're working on a title sponsor right now. We have a couple of people that are interested, but we have those openings. And then that's pretty much it. I'm just going to leave this up for just a few minutes so people can write down any information they may not have. But what I'd like to do is maybe open it up. And Bernadette, if you want to help me with this, just let everybody introduce themselves real quick. And, how do we know you, or, tell us a resource you might have. And if you have interest in something that you want to support, if you could put that in the chat or just email us at cricket@soundsofautism.org or info@soundsofautism.org.
Absolutely, Cricket. I'm going to start. I'm just going to go down the list of the people that I see here, and I'm going to start with Mr. Alan Mace. Alan, you're up.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, hi, everybody. Well, thanks for being on. Yeah, my name's Alan Mace, and I help people pre-plan their funeral arrangements or their final party and get that all set up ahead of time so that the families don't have to worry about that. And met Cricket several years ago.
Yes.
But yeah, she approached me and had an idea, and then caught up with me several years after that and said, "Hey, we got to get this done." So we met, we had lunch, and yeah, it's been a great time ever since.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Alan. Next, I have Angela. Angela, you're up. I don't know that I've met you before. How did you come to know Cricket, Sounds of Autism? And I don't know if you have microphone, maybe you don't. You can always put it in the chat box and that will pop up for us to see. There you are.
This is Angela. Yeah, I think last time there were two Angelas maybe on there, so I wasn't sure that you were talking to me.
Okay.
So, yes, I'm on voice only, just coming back from my daughter's softball game. So I am on the board. I've known Cricket for probably over 15 years now. And I actually work for a school district in Illinois. So I handle the finances for a school district. So kind of have that expertise behind me, and just so excited to see this grow. And all the people that are just so willing to help and just as excited about it. So it's fascinating to me to watch it expand so quickly.
Angela, I couldn't see that you were on here, but I'm so excited she made it. Angela is one of our newest board members. She's my sister-in-law, and she's a school right below superintendent, right? Angela, you're vice superintendent.
Correct.
Yes, and she has a wealth of knowledge and she's very aware, and her and Landon have always had such a connection or a bond. Every time somebody comes in with the name Angela, he says, well, my aunt's name is Angela. He's always talking about Angela. So, it's just it's a blessing to have her, and it just gave me the opportunity to kind of step back from the voting portion of things. So if we ever have a need for a vote, her, my husband, and my daughter, they can vote, and they're very just so you know, all of them know that I like to be right, but I'm not always right. So they will do the vote fairly, and I have a lot of faith in all of them. So I think it's a good mix of people. So thanks, Angela, for being here.
Awesome.
Of course, my pleasure.
Thank you, Angela. And then we have Mr. Marcus Boyd. We got a chance to meet you. Anything else you want to add or share?
Cricket is what she's doing is phenomenal. I met Cricket last year. I was in Arizona speaking at the young lady's situation that she was missing, and she has autism and stuff of that nature. And I think whatever Cricket does is phenomenal. I have autism, so I'm not just speaking as somebody that I have autism. So I understand it in every shape, form, and fashion. So I think, Sounds of Autism is me literally, because I'm a music producer. So, I mean, it was a no-brainer. And that's why I support Cricket, whatever she does.
Thank you, Marcus. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. What she does is really amazing. Give me just one moment here so I can continue going down the list. And thank you for joining us. Carmen, I have Miss Carmen now. I know Miss Carmen. Miss Carmen, do you want to share how you know us and add some comments here? Share your thoughts. Can you hear us? Do you have microphone? Let's see. There you are.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Bernadette. Hi, everybody. Why you put me on the spot like that?
Because we want to hear from you.
I'm so shy. I'm just kidding. I just really trying to figure it out if I met Cricket first, but online, and I don't know how I got to you, Cricket, and Sounds of Autism. I apologize for my bad memory, because I really don't know how I find you.
It's okay. It's okay,
Carmen. Maybe through the internet, maybe through Facebook. I cannot recall, but I love you all. I'm really admire the job that you all doing, your team, because I'm a grandma with autism, raising two kids with autism, one girl and one boy. And I heard before when you guys were talking about the autism is different in girls than boys. And I believe so. I mean, I have a hard time with my girl right now, my granddaughter, Ayana. Understanding her autism is so complicated. So by you doing what you're doing, Cricket and Bernadette and your great team of autism is teaching me and teaching a lot of people out there, be aware of that. So autism comes in different forms, and we need more people like you all, to teaching other people how to understand autism, how to look at it in boys and girls is different. So I don't know. I'm out of words over here. I'm so emotional by all the work that you guys doing, making making people awareness about autism. And I love you all. I mean, I'm out of words. Thank you so much,
Carmen. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen, for joining us. I know that I just want to commend you and the other parents that are on here, because we've talked a great deal, and I know what you've gone through, and you're just hanging in there and you're doing a great job. So keep up the good work. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, without you guys, for real, we all parents, they raising kids with autism sometimes feel alone, and we need this support from all of you, helping me a great deal. For real, this support, even though that you might not think, I don't see you, I don't talk to you every day, this support is amazing to me. It just gives us a new air oxygen to breathe in, to know that there's officers out there by receiving this training of autism, that our kids, even though they might not be, we're not going to be there, you know, physically, somebody else going to be then supporting them and teaching them it's okay, take a breathe, take a break. Things going to get better because they're going to need that support. The community needs to know there's people out there, there's different, they act different, they walk different, but that doesn't mean that they're okay. They need that support. And by you doing this training and the officers and everybody out there, oh my God, this is a blessing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carmen. You know, one of the things that I heard on another thing I heard on one of the calls I was on today is how they want to change the culture. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. So it's so necessary to decrease that stigma with, you know, disabilities. It's just, you know, and in fact, I just want to share real quick. My daughter told me the other day, Mommy, you know, if they're going to be talking about diversity, why aren't they having handicapped people on their videos and having people with different disabilities? And I said, baby, you're right. I said, you need to write a letter. You need to write a letter to these organizations, to these corporations. And she's 11 years old. So moving on, Dr. Anila Khan, it's such a pleasure to meet you. I've not met you yet, so thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, everyone, and it was nice having you all. And I can see cricket is so emotional at the moment. Maybe she's watching something happening, and I'm so happy for you, cricket, and I'm also happy for all of you. All of you are sitting here. Basically, I'm from Pakistan, and maybe you all have recently heard my interview, and I'm a quite a person who is a very happening person. I'm doing a lot of things, and sometimes cricket is showing my maybe, and I'm the person who have the, you could say, who have the courage to do sessions in front of the media. I mean, I do session, and my sessions are online. Like I'm working with a child, and people don't have that courage, but I do that. And yesterday I was told that 2 weeks before, somebody told me that you don't have something with autism. I mean, some some kind of international certificate, so you cannot go international. And yesterday I was telling this to my friend that see what I got today. So it was nice having you all, and I really like what you all are doing. I can see how emotional you are because I'm a therapist. And let me give you my introduction. I'm a clinical psychologist, psychotherapist, or a speech therapist, and I'm working since 2011. And I also have. I am a neurodivergent person, so I don't tell other people because it's not going to define me. What I'm doing is going to define me. What I'm doing for these people is defining me. And cricket asked me this question: how you have that empathetic? So those who are ASD, those who are with autism, they're the most empathetic person. Those who are the parent. So I am trying my best to do a lot of awareness raising session. Even I'm doing in the languages, multiple languages. I'm doing in Urdu, I'm doing in English, and I just started support group that is our maybe 1 month back, and it is support group is on every Sunday. So I would like to ask all of you if you know somebody and they want to be in a support group, because you always need a place to talk about. So anyone can join that support group, and I will share the detail with the cricket. And it's very emotional to talk to all of you because I did not get a place. I just shared my journey with cricket. I did not tell her that I was get bullied day before yesterday by the same people who were studying with me, and they never support me at that time. They would say that you're talking so fast, doing this, and you're doing this. And I just break that curse, maybe 10 to 15 year curse, and I just give her back the voice. Because problem was that I was doing a session with a child and he was eating with his one hand. That was his because I'm a Muslim, so we used to eat from right hand. So she said that, oh child, eat from your right hand. Why you're eating from your left hand? I told her that child is eating from his right hand, and this is mirroring. I mean, camera is a mirror. So she started giving a lecture, and there was a mother whom I'm working with, and her child did not eat for 5 years. And I'm doing his feeding therapy, and now he is eating. And she's so happy, and I'm making everyday videos. We started from fruits, and now that was from banana. Now he can eat 2 to 3 fruits. So that was my vision that I was working. So now he came to noodles. He came to sandwiches. Yesterday I gave him sandwiches. He's all eating, and he was eating by himself. So the mother is so happy, and the mother said that, "Do you understand what you are saying? I mean, at least he is eating." And I just make a video and told them, please, next time, be careful commenting on my video. Everybody knows that I'm working with this population and I'm not going to tolerate this thing. I told her that you, all the time you said that, like, if you're an ASD person, if you're like sometimes you're hyperlexic, sometimes you're dyslexic, so it is always issue with the spelling and stuff like that. So she would say, what you're trying to say, and stuff like that. So I never respond her back. But the moment she talked about that child, I came forward and I make a video for that. And she said, you got that much courage to make a video? I said that I will make 100 videos, 100 videos, and I will advocate for those children, because maybe our parenting was a different kind of parenting, because I was a difficult child. I don't know, because a lot of things I don't remember now, because that was fun growing together, but our parenting was a very different parenting. It was very lovely parenting, very supporting parenting. That was a different style, but now parenting is very different. We living in a joint family system, so, and just like somebody was talking, that autism in girls is very difficult to diagnose, and she's very much right, because I talk too fast, and people would say those who have autism, they don't have language. I mean, they are not verbal. So I think we have to talk a lot about that. And what I'm doing on my side is I'm doing a lot of I'm doing support group, I'm doing trainings, and I'm putting all things on my page as well. So whether it is support group and whether it is parental group, whether these are training. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm trying to do for maybe from 1 year, maybe from 2 or 3 years. It was a difficult thing, but I think I'm playing my role. I'm feeling so happy when somebody came to me, and I just started from giving the misconception, clearing the misconception what these therapists are doing with the children. Actually, that's how I started doing that, because there are a lot of parents who don't know what is going on, and who don't know what we need to do about our children, why our child are not progressing. I mean, the therapist would say that the child is not able to sit on the chair. We cannot do any therapy. So we are providing in therapy for 2 days. So, I mean, you're charging a lot of money from these parents on what behalf. So that's how my journey started. And I wanted to do a lot of things, and I was not finding a difficult. Maybe I was try to do a lot of things for so long, but I did not find the right time, or maybe I did not find the right place to start. But I then start everything. And Cricket was talking to him, and she just called me ma'am, and I said that you're calling me ma'am, and you don't know that I have quite the ability to overpower everyone. And she was laughing at that thing. So that's all. If somebody else want to say anything, I can tell them, because people think that in Pakistan, whenever somebody told them, because I'm working with the global, I just established a global alliance, that's an international alliance, and whenever somebody sees that some is from Pakistan, are so astonished that how it's possible even that somebody from Pakistan is doing this. So I told her that you should tell them. That was the one she started that thing actually. So that's all from my side.
Dr. Khan, we're so blessed to have you. Thank you for participating tonight. Well, for you it's in the morning, but for us tonight. And we'll definitely have another Spectrum Talk. That's your little logo behind me. We'll have that next time around. But thank you. It was nice hearing from you again. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much, Dr. Khan. And for those of you that have not had an opportunity to put your contact information so that we can share it with others, please put that in the chat box. Your name, your organization, maybe the services you provide, if you do provide a service, and how we can reach out to you. And now I'm going to move on to Dr. Brommel. Dr. Del Brommel, can you hear us? I'd love to hear you share how you met Cricket and what it is that you do. Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I am Del Brommel. Cricket says you're doctor now, so you have to call yourself doctor. But our journey was a blessing. And I would like to say, I think it was Cricket, was it 2.5 years ago or 3? Maybe about 3 years ago, I was trying to do research, and I couldn't find participants for my study. And I was doing a research on fathers and their discussions with their children, high school and recently graduated children with autism spectrum disorder. and I needed father participants, volunteers. And one of my friends worked on a military base here at Luke Air Force Base. And she says, we don't really have very many. I don't think you can get what you need, but I'm going, and she had retired, so she wasn't there and readily available to assist me like she should. And she says, but I have a friend. And she says, she's beautiful, she's wonderful, she's lovely, and if anybody can assist you, she can. And so I contacted her, and she did. She assisted me, and she posted my research slides with all the criteria and inclusion material and exclusion material, and I was able to get my very first volunteer for my study from your group, Sounds of Autism. And I'm blessed by that. And she continued to support me, continued to encourage me throughout. And I finished my defense. I had my defense on November the 30th of 21, and I passed it. And I finished my dissertation and graduated on December the 21st, 2021. And I marched in April the 25th, because they have different segments of what you can do and what you can't. And when I called Miss Cricket, she says, oh my goodness. She says, I've been waiting for you to call. So I said, praise Jesus, I finished. And so she says, I've been waiting. And so she's been sharing with me and letting me know how she's trying to fill gaps, trying to help people to understand how they can help others and become aware of how they can help. That's the major thing that we're doing with Sounds of Autism. You're making people aware of how they can do better. And so I am on board with her. I'm going to partner with you guys, and I'm going to be doing some fabulous things with you. I'm going to be doing some research with you, and I am just blessed, honored, and I give all praise, honor, and glory to be a part of this group. My husband and I, we have a 28-year-old son on the spectrum, and his name is Roderick. He's beautiful, he's lovely, and he's wonderful. His disability is language delay, but he will surprise you sometimes. And we're blessed by that. And I want to be able to take our experiences with our son and be able to share them with other parents, to be able to reach the population and be able to let them know, you can do this. You can do this with the help of others. And so I'm blessed, Miss Cricket and Mrs. Bernadette, and all of you on the meeting tonight. I'm blessed to be here, and I'm one of your biggest supports.
Thank you, Dr. Braumel. Thank you so much.
You are
We're glad to have you.
Yes.
Next up, I have Miss Hannah. Hannah, can you please pronounce your last name for me? Is it Bither or Byther?
It's Byther.
Byther, okay. So share with us. Hi, how are you tonight? So glad you could join us.
It's good to be here. I actually met Bernadette and Cricket through my community college. I was required to do some volunteering, and I was blessed enough to be able to help them with Tier 2 with Brenda. I too have a child that's on the spectrum. He's 10 years old, my little angel devil. But there's just a sense when you communicate with them that just lets you know that no matter what happens, everything's going to be okay. And I absolutely love that, especially since, my child is 10 and he is still going through the processes. They've been there through pretty much every step of the way, which I can't thank you guys enough for.
Thank you, Hannah. Next up is Miss Jackie Alicea. Jacqueline Alicea. Did I pronounce that right?
Yep.
We met you
Alicea.
once, but
Yeah.
I know you got a comment.
Well, not much like a comment. Hi, Carmen. Nice to hear your voice again. Hopefully everything goes well. So I just like hearing everybody talking. It's like you learn that is so much help out there, and it's amazing how everybody's coming together, you know. This is it's huge. This is huge. You know, we have a doctor from Pakistan. Like what? Like, wow, it's amazing, you know. Thank you for being part of this amazing team. Like, it's no words for this. It's like it really touched me. I'm listening to everybody, and this is going to be bigger than what it is right now, because I know this have bloomed from 2 or 3 people, I would say, to a huge, huge community, working together hand by hand, helping other families. And me being part of it now that I'm being able to help others, it's amazing that I have the opportunity. And I will not ask for anything else. This is amazing. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate every one of you. You guys, if you guys don't have my information, I will send it to you. If you guys need help with anything, let me know. I'm just here to help anybody, everyone, and I hope you guys help me in the way too, because I'm going in without any experience. So I have a full job, you know, full-time job, and plus the kids. So I'm going in kind of blind here, but it's coming together. So we have I have a plan, and hopefully I'll work. But thank you guys. I really appreciate every one of you. Thank you for coming tonight. Nice to meet you all, and thank you for everything you guys are doing. It's amazing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Miss Jackie. We appreciate you, and you have what it takes. You have the heart, and that's what it takes, is the desire to serve. And you can't teach that. You can't teach compassion, and you have the compassion. So thank you for being here tonight. Next, I have Callie Hessler. You're up. Can you hear us, Callie?
I can. I'm Kelly Carbello. Hi.
Oh, your name's coming up as Hessler.
I know.
I didn't know what you wanted, so I said what I saw. Hello. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Hi. I'm doing my taxes, so I'm grumpy.
Uh-oh.
I met Cricket and Bernadette at neurodiverse something special education PTA meeting, and they were just starting their organization, and I did not want to get on board with them so much at the beginning because it's hard to do that. So I don't even know how I found Cricket, but I made it a point to find her and set up a meeting, and yeah, we've been chatting ever since. It's been a while now. I mean, not as long as some of the others, but what I do is agitate our elected officials, and I work on school emergency operations planning, and especially for kiddos who have access and functional needs. And I should be going to Maryland in September for more training, which I'm super excited about. And what else am I doing? On a statewide Behavioral Health Planning Council, and I just got wrangled into another project, but it's for statewide reform on our children's health system. So I'm super excited about that. And I work one-on-one with a child who has autism, and I was just excited that she learned sarcasm because she's not supposed to. And I love hearing stories about things that people do that they're not supposed to do. And I really just think that we don't know way more than we know. I mean, I feel like we're just scratching the surface with this, and I'm glad to be around people who are optimistic and think the sky's the limit. So thank you for letting me be here. Sorry I was late. And sorry I'm grumpy, but it's taxes. What are you gonna do?
That's okay, Kelly. We're glad to have you. And you know, I love what you just shared about this child learning sarcasm, because I didn't think my daughter was going to learn how to tell jokes, and she's learned how to tell jokes so well that her teachers text me and tell me that they keep her. My daughter keeps them laughing. The only thing is the adults get the jokes and the kids don't. So I thought that was pretty funny. She keeps the teachers laughing all the time. So thank you for sharing that. Next up is Mr. Mike Jura.
Hey, how are you today?
We are great. How are you?
Doing very well. So a little bit about myself and how I met cricket originally. So I actually met cricket through James Townend on the call, actually. So, you know, just as Bernadette mentioned, so my name is Mike Jura. I'm an online fitness coach. So I help people around the world how to lose weight and you know, transform their bodies in a very healthy, sustainable way. Simply just using fitness, simple fitness and nutrition. And what I do is I turn it into habits. So micro habits that build and grow. So you don't realize that one block, you know, isn't really, you're not really building a pyramid, you're not really building a house, but if you can do it consistently, one block, consistently, you realize that, you know, you take a step back and you see what you've done. It's the same thing, right? Same thing with weight loss, or the same thing with, you know, with, in James' case, now he's not so much losing weight. I helped him lose about just under 30 pounds. He's the most confident man ever now. He walks into the room with his head held high. When I first met him, he wasn't like that. So his transformation, it's been much more than just physical. It's been an emotional, confidence-wise. He's grown so much. So what I do is I do that with men and women around the world, mostly Canada and US. But I did have a client in Italy for a while, which was incredible. Completely different food and recommendations. It's so difficult, but the behaviors are the same, right? You have to understand why you're doing it and stay consistent with it. Yeah, so then I met cricket actually through James. James says, you know what, Mike, you have a program that works for people on the spectrum. And, you know, I was really curious about that. I didn't really know anybody on the spectrum. I'm not on the spectrum. I don't have any kids on the spectrum. And I didn't realize it, but I had built the perfect program for somebody who's on the spectrum, who just needs to take little steps and can answer questions in a yes or no. Did I do it? You know, keeping a binary, right? Like, did I do it? Did I not do it? Right? Can I complete the task? How can I complete that task differently next week, or tomorrow, or, you know, in the afternoon? Keeping the accountability is huge. And so what I do is I build nutrition and fitness for the individual person sitting in front of me. There's no cookie cutter program. Those don't work. You'll see them. They don't work. So understanding the person you're speaking to is it's incredible. So that's pretty much what I do. Is I help people around the world lose weight. And then in addition to that, I'm also a cloud programmer. So I work with code on Salesforce, and I do some incredible things as well. But I met Cricket, and she talked about Sounds of Autism, and I was like, sounds like an incredible thing you guys are doing, and I want to be a part of it. So that's how I got roped in, and it's been a while now, but I love it. It's the best kind of roped in I can imagine. So I'm really glad that I'm a part of it. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for sharing. And so now we're going to go to James, who introduced you to cricket. James Townend, you are up.
Hello, everyone. Simply put, I met cricket. I attended a webinar. They said, I sort of introduced what I was doing. They said, you need to talk to cricket. So our first conversation was supposed to be about 5 or 10 minutes. Hour and a half later, she had pulled over because she was running errands. She pulled over in a parking lot. We talked for an hour and a half and been off ever since. I've done a few presentations with her, a few podcasts, that sort of thing. What I do, I'm not sure what my title is now, but Director of International Development for Canada, Community Corporate Services. I am on the spectrum. I am a financial coach, life coach, is what I'm doing. I have a regular job that pays the bills, but I'm starting my own life and financial coaching for people on the spectrum because there's a lack of mental health supports here in Canada that are affordable for people on the spectrum. So that's what I'm looking to do. I'm enthused about partnering with Bernadette and Cricket, everyone here, to make autism and at risk very recognizable and prevalent. And I do agree with your daughter Bernadette that when it comes to diversity and that, why aren't more people who are differently abled sort of put out there as well. So I'll keep it brief because I know time's almost up and I could tend to talk. So thank you everyone for coming and joining us, and look forward to meeting and working with you all in the future.
Thank you, James. Thank you so much. And then I have, we met Rebecca earlier, or at least I did. And so Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us. Share with us, if you would, how you met Cricket and what it is that you do.
So I met Cricket through my mom. My mom's
And
Lisa.
who's your mom?
My mom's Lisa.
Okay, here with us tonight.
Yes. I started, I can't even remember the year, but I started with the Gilbert School District had it was called VIK program, Very Important Kids. And it was all spectrum. It was, I've dealt with life skills. I've dealt with job training. I've dealt with it all, I've dealt with little kids all the way up to high school, college. I am currently a respite care provider for a 22-year-old who has autism. High functioning, I've dealt with high functioning. I've dealt with low functioning. I started my career actually in sign language. Arizona does not have a degree for it, or else I would have a degree. So I love helping. I am always there. My mom calls me and says, "Hey, I need you to go with me to Bobby Joe Bell's walk or whatever." I'm there, or that's kind of how I got into it all. Was my mom has always been a supporter of what I want to do. So it's kind of a give and take. I don't know. I just love helping others, especially those that I finally started my career with the respite because my aunt had dealt with a child who his parents couldn't communicate with him and didn't have any way to communicate with him. So I started learning sign language, and he had autism. Certain signs meant certain things to him, but it was very emotional to deal with that part. So, just every day I'm dealing with somebody that's on the spectrum, whether they're high or low. I just love working with them. I feel more joy working with them than, somebody who isn't on the spectrum. I deal with them all, especially when I was working with high schools. You can't just only deal with one person. You have to deal with all of them and learn how to deal with them. That's probably the hardest part, is because nobody is the same. They're all different, and they all have their way of communicating and telling you what they need or want. So
Thank you, Rebecca. And you're absolutely right. One of the things that I like to say is that autism doesn't have a face. You know, you can't just spot somebody with autism. You know, in fact, let's see here. Lisa, did you want to add anything before I close out?
You know, I do. So, going back to Rebecca and Dr. Khan and you and Cricket and everybody that's on this call, we are all here for the same purpose, for the same mission, for the exact same result. And I just think that's amazing. If you look at the energy that's put out and you look at the people that have come in, we are all here for the exact same dynamic, and each one of us brings a special piece to making this all work. So thank you. I am so honored to be a part of it. I every day I go, really? That's what we're doing today? Okay, let's try that. Okay. But thank you. Thank you to all of you, because every day I learn something new. And when I stop learning something new, you'll be speaking at my services, because I got a lot more to learn. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it.
Lisa, thank you. I know that it's 8:30, but I would be remiss if I didn't quickly share how I met Cricket, because I'm so grateful to be on this journey with Cricket. Her vision of how to bridge the gaps for families, she always has something. She can take, you know the saying, you can make lemonades out of lemons. Well, she can take something and she can just turn it into something totally different. So like I shared, I am a mom of autism. My daughter is 11 years old. We adopted her at birth. And when we adopted her, I couldn't have children. So a friend called me and told me that somebody wanted to give us their baby. And we literally had a baby in 4 months. Now, we knew that her birth mom had some type of a delay, but we didn't know what. But when you're trying to have a baby for 17 years, you don't say no. So we said yes when my girlfriend told us somebody wanted to give us their baby. We had a little girl in 4 months, and I started to monitor her because I knew that her birth mom had some type of a delay. We actually thought Isabella was deaf at 1 year old. But when we realized she wasn't deaf, we were very happy because we knew that we could work with something. So being a more mature mom and just monitoring her through the years, I started to realize that she has autism just because of the signs. So fast forward, Isabella was diagnosed educationally in preschool with a social emotional developmental delay. Well, I didn't even have her diagnosed for autism until just a year ago. In fact, it was, I think, 2019 she was diagnosed with autism. That's because we didn't have to go outside for any services. She got all her services in school. But as a more mature mom and a business person, I'm also a Legal Shield associate. So I had an event to go to for Legal Shield, and it just so happened to be at Dave & Buster's. And I didn't know who Cricket was. I didn't know she was the sales manager there. I had no idea what I was going for. And I didn't want to go. I was lazy that day. I was tired, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I don't go, people are going to ask me where I was. So I went, and I can tell you that I honestly believe it was totally God, because that's where I met Cricket at. And when I went, my husband and my daughter followed me, and my daughter was in Cricket's space talking to her. And so I always found a way to share with everyone that my daughter was on the spectrum, because I didn't know when she was going to have a meltdown. I didn't know if she was going to take off running. I didn't know. So I just always shared with everybody. And two, because I started to meet so many families that had children with the same characteristics. I would see them taking off running. I would see them just stimming. I would see them just doing different things that I knew were behaviors of autism. So when Isabella was talking to Cricket, I pointed to my daughter and I said, she's on the spectrum. And Cricket said, oh, I know. And I was floored by that, because everybody would tell me, no, she doesn't have autism. But when Cricket said she knew, I was so excited. I'm like, how do you know? And she says, because my son's on the spectrum. Well, what Cricket didn't know is I was getting ready to start a support group for moms, because I knew how many families needed help. So I told Cricket that I was going to start a support group for moms, and I would love for her to join me. And that's when she told me that she's the founder of Sounds of Autism, and she would love to help me when I'm ready. So I wasn't ready right there and then, but I picked up the phone when Isabella went into second grade, because we started to have challenges again. And I called her. I said, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this. And here I am years later, doing what I love to do, and I can't imagine doing anything else than what I'm doing, which is helping families, networking with people like you all over the world, and helping to bridge those gaps for families with resources and supports and services that are so hard to find no matter where you are, and just helping families understand that they're not alone. So thank you, Cricket, for everything you do to bring us all together. I love you, and I think you're amazing.
I think we are amazing, guys. Thank you so much. I know we're 4 minutes over, and thank you, Bernadette, for taking that time to share that, because not everybody knows this story. Guys, we will see you in 3 months if you're not following us every week or we're not meeting with you. We do go dark in July, so we'll see a couple of you, but most of you guys will be taking your vacation times, and then we'll be back to it in August, and lots more to share with you coming up. So stay tuned and have a great night. See you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.